You, buddy. It's your party.
Okay, shall we go live? Hey all, good morning.
Hello.
For people who are logged in from US, Steve, welcome. And we have Nani with us. For Nani, I think it's around 9 p.m. and for us in India, it's around 7:30 p.m. Beautiful. We have a lot of people who are logged in. Thank you
I
so much
cannot
for taking.
see who is logging. Ah,
Yeah, you see there? Yes, Nani. Okay, for people wondering why Nani said that, Nani is not tech savvy. She lives in jungle most of the time, so that is the reason.
yeah.
Yes. So
I understand nothing with the technology.
yes,
It's a miracle I'm here.
yes.
Thank you, Kiran, for the
Thank
training.
you. Great. So the whole idea of this webinar is about understanding elephants from a different perspective. Usually, what we have seen elephants as in wild or in captivity or domestic, what we see as they're huge, they are amazing to look at it, and they're so huge that in one go you can't look at the entire animal. Okay, and we miss to see some of the critical points. And one of the thing what made me get into look into the elephants and care for them or talk about them more or start building awareness is where I realized that though we have used a lot of technology, we use a lot of technology nowadays. There are a lot of areas where we have improvised our own lifestyle for much more comfort. When it comes to elephant, we still use a lot of primitive and crude methods, be it in captivity and domestication, or we speak about the wild. Both the areas, there's so much of space that we can actually bring in, so much of things that we can bring in to make their life better. So when I started seeing that what are the possibilities probably we could do, I already saw that there are people like Steve, Nani, who are already working on that. They have been, spending their life dedicated for elephants, trying to make their life better. And I thought this is one thing what probably we could do, where we could bring across these people who actually on ground work with elephants, and people like us understand what they do and how they are able to help elephants to have a better life. So before we start, give a small introduction about myself. I'm Kiran Chandrasekhar. I run an initiative called Laughing Elephants. It is not an NGO. I don't want to make it as an NGO. It is a personal initiative because I love elephants at the end of the day. And usually I learn from people like this and bring this knowledge to you. I'm not a guy on the field much. I mean, I can say hardly I'm anything on the field, except for that I've been a trucker for 30 years. I've been in wildlife. I know elephants more like that. And from past 3 years, I've been doing this, trying to bring the knowledge. Because though we have, elephant is nothing new for us actually, especially in India. But unfortunately, we don't know much about them for several reasons. So we'll start opening up new chapters about the elephant, their life in captivity, what happens, and what happens in the wild, kind of a thing. To begin with, we will have Steve telling us about captive elephants. Steve runs an NGO called Elephant Care Unchained. So I'll let Steve speak about himself and introduce himself to begin with. And let's start. Steve, welcome.
All right. Thank you, Karen. Thanks for having me. Thank you to everybody out there in the world somewhere, wherever you are. Thanks for sharing your time with me. I appreciate it. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to speak about a little bit about the work that I do with my organization, Elephant Care Unchained. I'm Steve Koyle, obviously. I've been working with animals my whole life. I've spent the last 18 years focused solely working for elephants. And I have a degree in zoology, bachelor's of science. So I earned a degree from Michigan State University. And so 4 years ago, I established Elephant Care Unchained. And I'll tell you a little bit about that when we get started.
Yes. And Nani, please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Kiran, to invite us and to get the opportunity to talk about elephant. And thanks, everybody, to join tonight. I think you will get a lot of information, a lot of interesting information. So my name is Nani. I'm French. I'm living in Thailand. I'm the co-founder of organization Nature and Wildlife Association, NWA. We are working especially in wild Asian elephant conservation, and we are specialized in human-elephant conflict, what we call HEC. You will hear me say this word several times. So remember, HEC, it's human-elephant conflict. So,
Thank you.
and we are working in all Asia.
Thank you, Nani. By the way, Nani is half Indian also, which she didn't say.
Yes, I'm half French, half Indian. So my super accent, you can recognize.
Yes. Great. So, Steve, basically, one of the things what I've seen you working is most of the time on board, or I know you speak about the elephant foot care, and the question is why elephants need foot care? Basically, they're animal, right? Any animal really don't really need foot care, but why in particular elephants, especially which is in captivity, need foot care? And what is it you do? Is what I would, like to you to tell our viewers today.
Well, with foot care, I'll talk briefly about foot care during this. I mean, we can spend hours talking about foot care, but foot care for elephants is kind of their lifeline. You can tell a lot by looking at their foot. You can tell kind of the quality of their life by looking at their feet. So yeah, it serves as their lifeline. So if an elephant gets a bad foot, it can be fatal. And so it's important to take care of that. It's probably the most sensitive, neglected part of the body.
Especially elephants are being huge, each
So,
weighing around 3 ton, 4 ton, right? A female elephant and male probably can go up to 6 ton. The kind of legs, the legs really need to be taken care of, I guess. That's where it comes from. Cool. Can we start your presentation, Steve?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let me.
So,
I hope so.
basically, more of Steve
right?
and Nani. Of course, Steve at least is a bit oriented towards technology. Nani is not oriented much into the technology. So please bear with us if we take a couple of minutes to open the presentation.
It works.
Yes, Steve. Yes, perfect.
Are we there?
Perfect. Thank you.
There we go. All right, I'll begin. Again, thanks everybody. Thanks, Karen. Let's get cracking. So, this is kind of my talk today. Kind of traveling as much as I do. I travel throughout different parts of Southeast Asia. Have projects, help elephants in 6 countries currently, and resources are pretty much limited. And so, an easy way of talking about it is that there's a practical approach to how can we make elephants' lives better, right? How can we do that in captivity? That is. So let me do that. So elephant care and chain, like I said, I established that in July of 2016, and in that time I've traveled, like I said, through 6 countries, helping elephants in any way. And my mission statement is at the bottom. I need to move this thing. I can't. There we go. Sorry, guys, I got something on my end. Basically, it's a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to eliminating cruelty and improving elephant welfare in their native countries. How I look at it is making elephants' lives better. How can we do that? So today, sorry, guys, I was having technical difficulties. What's going on here? Okay, today, I'm going to focus on these topics today in our talk with what we do. Talk about some foot care, talk about substrate enrichment, positive reinforcement training, and target training when possible. Basically, how I look at taking care of elephants is I always put myself in their place. What would make them comfortable? What would they appreciate? How can we make that better for them? They didn't sign up to be in captivity. They didn't sign up to be in chains. They didn't sign up to be brutalized. We need to work together with them. They're here now, so let's make it better for them, right? So, foot care. We talk about foot care, right? Terrible situations with foot care. These feet here are all because of the environment that they're kept in. Different photos, different places, different elephants, just bad things that you'll see, and I'll get more into it in a minute. Different things, different aspects of different problems. These other ones, let me go back, sorry. These ones here are all basically caused from abnormal pressure being on the foot. These nails swell up because the pressure is built up, right? Again, I don't want to spend too much time. These here, worn pads being on hard surfaces. Here we have what we call urine burn, where urine will sit in these trenches here, right? Pads are too thin. This foot's becoming deformed, being on a short chain. The elephant can't walk properly, right? So you see that this foot is chained so short that the pad is only being worn right here, where this whole entire part of the foot is not even being touched on the ground because of the chain. So, to give you guys an idea, elephant anatomy, right? Huge animals. And Kieran talked about it briefly, but yeah, we're going to talk about their feet. So their feet, it's a better diagram of it. They actually walk on their toes. And these feet, you can see that they're individual digits. And so they actually move individually. And so we don't want them being on hard surfaces at all. So with those problems that we saw, leads us to this, right? We see all these things, which is why foot problems occur. Unnatural environments, short chains, lack of mobility, hard surfaces, all bad for elephants. This is typical what we would see in captivity a lot. Different aspects, different things that we would see. You know, obviously, to stand on, but the elephant on it. So, terrible, terrible things that happen with elephants. Over time, worst case scenario, this is what happens, right? These two elephants are now deceased in a much better place. Excuse me. What's happened here is that the treatment of this elephant being in an unnatural environment, being treated improperly, basically what was done to these feet was the exact opposite of what you should be doing to feet. Here, the feet were basically burned underneath. They were cauterized, creating a swelling to go up. Whereas what we want to do with elephant's feet, we want to have the swelling, not have the abscess grow out and down. We want to open it up, reduce the pressure. They did the exact opposite here. Now this elephant is dead because of that. Here, we see pressure sores from laying on concrete, unnatural surfaces, from the hips, elbows, head. This foot here, improper treatment. They put acid on this foot, I guess, to try to burn the swelling away. Whereas the swelling is caused because of down here, where we want to, like I said, reduce the pressure. We want to take the pressure off of the nails, right? So what can we do? What can we do to help? We talk about doing foot care. It's just me doing foot care in different countries, different places, different situations, all kinds of things to help elephants with foot care. Quick little outline, and I said we can spend hours on this. Maybe in the future we can talk strictly about foot care. I don't know if that's something somebody wants to do. I'll be more than happy to elaborate more on anything that I talk about. I'm just trying to go through this kind of quickly to get it done in the amount of time. But basically, we've got kind of 4 main keys for foot care. We've got, make sure they're in a clean environment. Make sure they're on natural substrates, not concrete, not hard asphalt or whatever else they might be on. They need to interact with their environment. It has, they need to dig, they need to dust, they need to do these types of things. They need exercise. We all know that they need exercise. And they need to be able to have regular examinations with their foot. You need to be able to trim it or check it as needed. If they get an issue, they need to be trained to give you their foot and be able to take care of their foot. So over time, you can improve some of these feet. However, this particular elephant probably developed this problem over many, many, many years. So it's unfair to think that you can treat it and fix it in a day, a week, a month, a year. This particular elephant will require lifelong care, lifelong intense care, intense treatment to get to a point where it's manageable. Because most likely you probably wouldn't heal totally a problem like this. So it's all about proper trimming and then soaking. Soaking is critically important. Soaking in nice warm water. We want to draw out those swellings. We want to draw out the problems through the bottom, not up, not higher up. Yeah, so here is a wonderful video of who I call my Indian brother, who I trained years ago. And I like to call this kind of a third generation foot trim, if you will. So what's happening here is my buddy is trimming this foot properly, and he's teaching a mahout how to also do it. So it makes me feel great to see this sharing of knowledge being passed on. And I'll play the video here. You guys get an idea.
So what is that he's removing, Steve? He's removing something, right?
Well, yeah, let me, well, what's funny, I'll tell you, let me turn this down a little bit here. What's happening is there's an abscess right here within this foot, right? There's an abscess caused from abnormal pressure. So what he's doing is he's opening up around it, bringing up this nail to take the pressure off of that nail, and telling the guy what he's doing. And then after this, we'll soak it, and we're going to draw this out. If we didn't do this, if we close, if I'm trying to point there, you guys. If we close this off, then that swelling will continue to build up, and then it goes up into the foot, right? We want to bring it out from the foot. And so he's speaking a language. You guys probably know the language he's speaking. I have no idea the language that he's saying, but I know exactly what he's saying. So it's kind of cool because I know exactly what he's doing. And it's nice to see it. And so he'll explain a little bit more about what's going on within this foot. So you fix this nail a little bit, and then you come back a few days later and you'll do the same thing again. I'm pointing again to this nail here. So now he's talking about how you'll see these, once the sun gets out of the way, there'll be ridges on this nail here from pressure. Basically, if you put pressure there, these ridges will form on the nail. So you can see these little ridges here. Nails don't grow like this, sideways. But that's from the pressure being built up, right? So we're going to take this nail up to reduce the pressure, so then eventually you can have a nice, healthy nail that grows down over time. So basically the nail's too long, right? He's pointing that out, and then he's going to rasp this part of the nail to bring it up. So another thing I noticed is this elephant probably rocks and sways on concrete, because I noticed her front heels. You see this? I talked about this the other day. Her heel here is worn, and the heel on the other foot is worn. So basically, if she's restrained, she probably rocks, right? So the feet tell you a lot about their environment of what they're in. So it's a pretty, it makes me feel good, this video, seeing that things are done properly in a way that I can appreciate, and it's good.
Yep.
But all his feet are in bad condition, look like.
I'm sorry?
The other feet also look like in bad condition. Look like
They're not terrible. I mean, they're not great, but they're not terrible. But this abscess is an issue, and this only gets worse. They never just go away. You can't just spray some stuff on it and hope that it goes away. It's all about the trimming and the environment to make these things truly get better. So. So my Indian brother is doing a good job teaching people how to kind of take care of this stuff here, yeah.
Yep.
How long it take to take care of one feet? We say 1 feet or 1 foot?
Let us get to these questions after, Nani. Okay, let me just get through this here. All right. So you guys got the idea, kind of, sort of, a little bit.
Yep.
All right. So you know I'm not crazy. Here's just a short clip that I actually practice what I preach. This is in another place, another country. It's a very sweet elephant, very famous elephant. This girl is here. It's only, I don't know, 40 seconds or so, but give you guys an idea of what we're trying to do. She has a lot of issues. She used to walk, give rides, in downtown city for many years. So she's got issues. So how can we make outside of footwork, right? Footwork is caused because of everything we just saw, those unnatural environments, those unnatural situations. What else can we do for these elephants that are in captivity? If their feet don't seem bad, or what can we do? How can we make them better? Well, the term that we use is enrichment, right? So if these elephants are going to be chained, can we at least feed them? Can we at least do something different for them if they're going to be chained, right? So here we have an elephant reaching up, grabbing some food. Whereas, I don't know if you guys can see me. I'm just looking at the screen here. But basically, the majority of captive elephants are standing in the same spot, staring at the ground, waiting for the food to show up, right? That's all they do. They get the food. Not much there. Chained up, can't do anything. Pretty miserable life. So now we hang the food, right? Now you guys can see me. I'm pretty animated here. So we hang the food up. So now the elephant's still chained. It's still pretty crappy down here, right? Their lives aren't very good down here, but hey. So their mind starts getting busy. Their mind starts getting active. It takes away from them being chained up, if you will. So we make it a little bit better each time, and then we build on that. And so then from there, maybe we move an elephant and we chain them on sand, right? Ideally, we don't want them chained. Ideally, we want them to be free and roaming, but it's not really practical, to be honest. We have to, especially these big bulls, you've got to build huge enclosures for them. So if we chain them, let's chain them humanely. Let's give them more room, more space, okay? Chain him on the dirt. Let him give him stuff to do. So his life just got tremendously better by just these 2 little steps that we did. We've had soft sand for these elephants. This nice man here with his elephant. Elephant lays there in a nice sand, comfortable. You can see she's resting. Very nice. Again, more things to do. Same idea here, right? This elephant's chained up over here, right? Front leg chain, back leg chain, terrible. But his mind is better. His mind is getting there. And so ideally then from here, we chain him back here into the dirt. Then we do different things. These are simple things that we can do to improve these elephants' lives right now, right? Right now. Now we can talk about what else. We do some enrichment. We do these things. Well, let's start being nice to the elephant. And the term people use is positive reinforcement, right? Positive reinforcement training or whatever. So in all of these pictures here, all of these elephants are being fed when they're being worked with, right? And we're trying to do things for the elephant, right? Not to the elephant. And in so many places you go, they're being hit, they're being yelled at, smacked. There's really nothing in it for the elephant, right? There's nothing in it for them. But here, you're like, here's some food. I don't need to hit you. Relax. It's okay. So all these pictures here, they're being fed. He's got some food here. Everybody's getting fed. Get nice treats there. Doesn't matter. You can always do a little bit more. We're trying to give these elephants a reason not to want to kill us, right? That's the idea. Let's be nice to them. Let's try to be nice to them. Get them in a healthy environment. Let's be nice to them. Here's a perfect example of how positive reinforcement training will work. Let's play it and watch. You'll see. And there's a few things going on here. So basically, she's getting fed the whole time. The mahout there is just rubbing her, making sure, let her know it's okay. And the vet's doing what she has to do in order to treat this ear infection.
I mean, it's really nice to see that the elephant is not chained or, there's no bullock around. And
right. Now, to be fair, if an elephant needs treatment and it's not tolerant of this, then you have to do what you have to do. Maybe you have to chain it. Maybe you have to restrain it. You have to do what you have to do to take care of it. But if you're going to do it that way, you still can feed it. You still can be nice to it. But you have to keep yourself safe, and you don't want the elephant to get hurt either. So I'm not blind to the idea that you walk up and give treats to these elephants and don't think that anything is going to happen, right?
Yes.
So, but things can be done. The elephants appreciate being treated nicely, right? They really do. And that just goes to, it's a pretty invasive thing that's going on there. But when you create a calm environment, an easy environment, you'll be more successful. Another little example of positive reinforcement. Here's another elephant that I used to work with or helped out. And her back nails were cracked. she had some serious back foot issues that we couldn't. And you can see here, how can I take care of this foot? Because basically, to take care of a foot, you need access to the bottom of the foot, right?
Yes.
The other back foot's here, right? She didn't lay down all the way, so we couldn't do much. So then we tried to tie her up and put her foot on this tire here. No success. Wasn't going to happen. You know, we weren't going to abuse her to the point that she had to do it, or we made her do it. We talked about making things enjoyable for the elephant. You know, working together, right? So here's the same elephant 3 months later. They started the positive reinforcement training, and then we have this. Right? No yelling, no hitting. And again, if this elephant wanted to kill them, then they have to restrain her or him or whoever. Then they have to put a chain on them or keep yourself up. Maybe build a restraint or a chute or whatever you'd have to do. You know, if you want to be nice, you can be nice. If you want to be humane, you can be humane. And that's kind of the idea. This is just giving examples of what is possible out there.
True. I mean, this elephant, it's very clearly seen, I guess, the way it's being treated. It's giving its foot to be treated. I mean, trust the mahout, trust the people who are working with it. That's the whole point. Building the trust, I think, matters a lot.
Exactly. It doesn't happen overnight. But if normally what you would see is the guys yelling, hollering, smacking, hitting, asking for this foot. Never once did they said, "Give me your, here, sweetheart. Here's a banana. Can I see your foot, please?" Never once have they tried that. It's always been force and brutality, and that's just not a progress this thing. What target training is the new term, but target training is a little bit of a financial investment. But if you look here in this is an elephant this is a bull that this guy just rides around him in the middle of the jungle. He's got 5,000 acres, but they put up a simple wood fence, right? It's a simple wood fence. He sits back on the elephant and just allows me to work with him and do target training that way. So it's possible to do whatever you guys want to do, right? Whatever anybody wants to do with elephants, you can do it in a humane way. Again, just more examples, more different things that are possible in a humane way. And target training, real quick, basically, the elephant is trained to touch the target with part of its body. And first, you start with the head. Say target. The elephant puts its head on the target, and then once it learns that, then you move it to different parts of the body. So it'll put its foot up, put its side in. It'll put its back foot up. It'll put its ears out. It'll, you hold it up. It'll open its mouth. So it's a way of communicating. I call it the universal language because these are in all different countries. And I train them in English, but they understand the target. So target's the universal language. It's always consistent. It's a safe way, and it communicates well with the elephant. So you pass that knowledge on to different people. Allow them to kind of to do it, to choose to be humane and they choose to make it easier on everybody, then they can, right? So then we piece it all together. You make a commitment to wanting to be humane. You want to be nice. You don't want to beat the elephants anymore. You don't want to do those types of things. So here is what's possible, and here is this bull is in must at this particular moment, and you'll kind of see we're actually going to draw blood from him.
So basically,
this process.
Bulls
this
and must.
He's in must, yes.
Yes, they're known to be very, very dangerous and unpredictable, quite aggressive most of the time, and yeah.
So we worked with this guy for a while. Once they built this wall, and again it's a little bit of a financial investment, but you'll see. Once they built this wall, and then a couple of my visits to help out. So we're actually going to draw blood from his other ear, and you'll kind of see how well he's trained. And he just has treats. He's got all kinds of little special treats, different treats, 3 or 4 different things in his pouch there. that this guy really likes. It's not just a normal thing he would get. It's something special, right? And you got to find out what they really like, and then you go with that. And then he's like, "Oh, this isn't so bad." You'll see how well trained this elephant is, and his mahout is really, really good. No yelling, no screaming, no nothing. You'll see he just simply points to get what he wants out of the elephant. The elephant knows now. Okay, let me put my butt over here. I know my ear's supposed to go in this little window here.
That's amazing.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Well, elephants are easy. Elephants are easy. You just got to be honest with them. You got to be fair.
And absolutely no bullhook, no shouting. I mean, it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Again, I mean, they're protected. So if you were in with the elephant, you know, you're going to need something. If you were in with this guy, if you were walking, you know, in a free open space, you're going to need something to protect yourself, to be honest. I mean, this is a huge animal, and a huge wild animal, basically. So, you know, it's not just, you know, take them off the leash and let them walk free kind of thing. You got to be really responsible, and you got to be careful. I mean, these animals will kill people. Yeah.
Very true. I think that's where the kind of techniques what you're using, or the kind of you know, methodologies that you use matters, where you don't have to do all those things most of the time, right?
Correct. Well, I mean, again, if you put the elephant in a natural environment, none of the abuse and none of the handling is necessary, right? The problem is we're taking these elephants wherever we're taking them, and they're in unnatural environments around a lot of people. Becomes very stressful and becomes very dangerous. So these mahouts have no choice but to control these animals somehow, and that's where the brutality comes in. But if you put an elephant, if you give an elephant some freedom in a space, wherever that space may be, and every place is different, every place has issues, you don't have to do as much with the elephant, right?
Yes.
You can allow them to be elephants, right? And so my last video of the day is my last slide here. So another place that I helped recently, was visiting, and we talked about allowing the elephants to kind of, you know, because a lot of these elephants are just on you know, numerous lake chains all day long in the same spot on concrete. And we talked about, you know, allowing them, you know, I suggested putting a drag chain on them, like having a drag chain, just let them go. And so then the mahout can feel comfortable, the mahout can feel somewhat safe, because, you know, us Westerners, we ask, you know, we're saying, oh, just let them go, and it'll be, that's not the case. You have to be responsible when you're working with these huge animals, right? We have to be responsible. But we also can be very humane, you know, in our responsibility that we have for these animals, right? So our suggestion was, you know, put them on a direct, let's move them into these pens here and there. Just give them some more freedom. So this mahout's own choice was surprising to me. It was an amazing, amazing thing that he did. And whether he does it all the time, I don't know. But the elephant got to experience this, at least while I was there, and wasn't my suggestion. Was not my, because it's not the safest thing in the world. So anyway, a pretty amazing thing to see to see a male elephant, particularly in India, walking without any type of restraint at all, without a mahout on him. So again, things are possible, but we have to be responsible in our care. It's not about just letting them be free and hoping, you know, they don't kill people, because, you know, people do get hurt. Elephants get hurt. You know, so anyway, it's a nice video to end on, I think. It kind of walks sort of like being a wild elephant, and Nani will talk about the wild elephants. So that's about as wild as I can give you guys at this point. So I think Nani will, there you go. So that's it for me, guys. Took me a minute to get warmed up, rambled a little bit, but I know I got a time crunch, so that was kind of right on time. So thanks, guys, for listening. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a fantastic presentation. For the attendees, guys, we will take questions with Steve a bit later. Uh, After Nani's presentation, we'll take it together.
Yes, I'm
One
sorry.
of the thing,
My
as
best.
it's perfect, it's fine, Nani. I mean, you just take, you can take your time, some couple of minutes, not a problem.
Okay.
So what happens is, as Steve said, elephants are wild. Elephants are wild animals. Okay, so no matter what you do, at the end of the day, their heart remains wild, no matter how much we domesticate. There is a reason why we keep seeing all these issues with it, and there's a certain way of handling them, which is very important. The lesser the brutality, the more friendly the elephant is. But again, at the end of the day, any wild animal lives by instinct, fight or flight. Elephants usually try to put their power on. They kind of try to show their muscle power most of the time. That's where things get wrong. And as Steve said, it always makes sense to have certain kind of a distance, certain kind of a restraint. If it is going to be a captive elephant, but at the same time, as you see, we can really treat them much better than the way we are seeing in most of the places. Yes, there are places where they are being treated, comparatively better, but I believe there is a lot of technology, a lot of new ways that we need to go and identify to help these beautiful animals to have a better life. So I think just before Nani comes in, I'll give you a basic numbering. In India, I think we have around 27,000 elephants, of which around 3,000 elephants is around in captivity. Okay, especially in Kerala, Karnataka, it's around 500 to 600. Again, in Assam, we have a higher number, and we also have a higher number of animals and elephants in captivity in Jaipur also for tourism and other things. And rest is in wild. But as we see that most of the time, if you've been looking at your newspaper or a news or media, you keep seeing that we keep losing these elephants regularly. At least you see that 3 to 4 elephants, 5 elephants die every day in some or the other point of time. Most of them with the fence and other things. And the major struggle is with the farmers. Unfortunately, is either the farmer or the elephant who loses the life, or probably the forest guard who's trying to protect and avoid the human elephant conflict. And again, there's something where we need to understand both. While human are trying to increase their habitat, elephants are losing their habitat for multiple reasons. It's just not the humans. The reason is just not the humans. We can't straight away flatly blame the humans, but there are certain things what is happening there. And one of the primary thing is lantana, or the non invasive alien invasive plants. AIPs is what they are called as, lantanas and some of those breeds, which basically are grown in the forest, and they take away huge hectares of land, huge, like thousands of acres of land are full of lantana, which no animal can eat. It's totally absolutely of no use kind of a thing. And that's where the food does becomes a shortage for those animals. And then of course we do have this issue of there is crop being grown at the edges, and we see this issue happens that elephants do come into the farm, or the agricultural land, and eat up the harvest, and the farmer eventually ends up with fighting with them. So I think Nani has a technical issue. Just give me a minute if you don't mind. Steve, in the meantime, do you want to speak something more about the elephants in captivity? What are the things you would suggest about
Um,
it?
I guess what because Nani will say she doesn't recognize the captive elephant. Well, when we take care of captive elephants, all of the problems that these captive elephants, not all of them, most of the problems that captive elephants develop is because they're in captivity, right? So it just goes to show that they probably don't belong in captivity, right? So it's just yeah. I mean, I don't know what else. I think that's an important note to say. I think people have the misconception about chaining and that kind of thing. I mean, chaining is a practical way of having elephants in Southeast Asia to be exact. So, because to enclose an animal, you have to it costs thousands of dollars, lots of money to enclose an animal. And is that really better to put an animal in a 1 acre, 5 acre pen, or is it better to maybe move the elephant throughout the forest or throughout wherever you can. Let's say a forest. Move it through the forest and have a one chain on its leg in a different place of the forest every single night. So it's got new sights, new sounds, new smells, new food. Is that worse or is that better? I don't know. But if an elephant has to spend its life in an enclosure or in a pen or however, because to not wear a chain, for me it's about treatment. If you're nice, if you care about the elephant, if you're nice to the elephant, that's what is important. Because ideally, we can't give them what they truly deserve and what they truly need. But we can treat them kindly. We can be nice to them. We can treat them with respect because they deserve it.
Yes, Steve, you're right. In fact, one of the thing what I felt when you showed that enrichment kind of a thing where we are suppose you are keeping the elephants busy is most of the time if you see in a normal environment the elephants does raise their head and to eat the food out of the high level trees also.
Mm-hmm.
There's a natural way for them. But when
Yeah.
in captivity, usually the traditional way is that the food is always put on the floor, or the mahout feeds them, which means the elephant never gets to exercise their neck.
Exactly. And so what happens is with age, as they get older, those muscles aren't developed. Yes. So it's harder for them to get up and get down. It's important that elephants lay down also, right?
Yes.
But when they're able to reach up and grab the food, their necks get stronger, their shoulders get stronger. And so when they lay down, when they have to get up, they're stronger to get up and get down. So they become healthier in that regard also, right? They're using muscles they would normally use. Because we're taking into natural and it's not, doesn't make sense.
True, very true. I think Nani will take a couple of at least another 3-4 minutes to join. She has her laptop being rebooted. So in the meantime, I mean that is something I expected from Nani. Either
of course, right?
Yes, in fact, she lives very close to jungle. The signal itself is a problem, and technology is a problem for them. The kind of location they work about the whole thing. So, in the meantime, Steve, I mean, can you just speak about the kind of journey? What really made you show so much of interest about elephants? Why elephants compared to any other animal?
Well, elephants are the greatest thing on the planet. I think we all know that by now, right? If humans were better beings, they'd be elephants, right? So, I've loved animals my whole life, I spent time. My career started in a zoo, and I met some elephants there who had a rough life and had their own stories. And then when you learn about the captive elephant, it's truly a tragic story on every level. It's not really, I mean, you make some captive elephants have really good lives, but overall, if they could tell you their story, we would all cry, I think. It's very sad. And so it inspired me to want to help more. And then over the years, I've developed a certain skill set, to help. And, if you can help, why not help? Right. So that's kind of where I come from, and I've dedicated my life to helping these elephants. In any capacity. It doesn't matter where. It's not the elephant's fault, if this person's bad or if this person's good or whatever. It's not the elephant's fault. They deserve an opportunity to have the best life they can have, and I can help them achieve that.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, which are the countries you have been traveling around? Where do you mean? I guess you primarily work with Asian elephants, right? Because I don't.
Yeah. It's all Asian elephants, all in Southeast Asia. But there's 6 countries. Again, it doesn't matter. I can get a call to go to wherever, and I would go once COVID ends. I spent time in Thailand, Indonesia, Cambodia. Vietnam is pretty exciting right now for me. India's fun, or India's India. I love India, but anyway. And then Sri Lanka, I think that's maybe at 6. What are there 6 of them? So yeah. So that's, again, it doesn't matter. It's just you're working with elephants in different environments. Basically, is the elephants are pretty much all the same. I said, when I do target training or whatever, I talk to them in English, and then it seems to be successful. It seems to work out all right, and so then you just pass that over to the people that are there on the ground, and you support them as best you can, and yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Fantastic. Just one more question, probably. I think Nani is almost coming online. I see Bharat and a few more are asking for a question, asking some questions. We will take up the questions if Nani doesn't come up early, or if you can't take it right now, probably we'll take it at the end of the webinar. Please hold on, guys. We're really sorry for this, but as I told you, Nani is almost, she lives in kind of jungle itself almost, and there are always challenges with technology, and someone who's not much into the technology, I think they'll have some problem. But she says she's about to come online back. So thank you so much for bearing with us. And Steve, one more thing, what I've heard most of the time is that every elephant has its own personality, just like human beings. It's not
Sure.
that all elephants are same.
Sure.
Usually we have this idea that let's say if it's a dog, generally we know that they almost are same, especially breed wise, they are same almost. If you look at probably, so but when it comes to elephant, they say they're very, very different, more like human beings. They have their own personality. Is it true?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the videos I showed, maybe there'll be elephants that you couldn't just walk up to and give it, without getting killed. So you have to take the proper measures according to that elephant. Not every one thing works for every elephant, right? I think being nice works for every elephant because it's totally different than what they're used to. Because you can see them like, this isn't so bad. So you can see them process that. But absolutely, I mean, they're very different, just like people. And so you put yourself, you keep yourself safe, you keep the people safe, you keep the elephant safe, and you work from there, right? And you do whatever they're doing, you try to tweak it a little bit to make it a little bit better for the elephant, a little bit safer for the people. You make it so that the people don't have to be on top of the elephant, meaning being so controlling because there's people around or whatever. You try to eliminate the potential hazards and dangers. You try to take the stress off of the mahout so he can just, the best place to be is to be a mahout and just sit back and be like, yeah, the elephant's over there somewhere. They don't have to be like, get over, so.
Very true. In fact,
that's the best way to be.
What I've been wondering always, what is the need to really, go and probably sit on an elephant, or why is that human contact, such a close contact is required? Unless there is really a need for emergency, medical help or something like that. Usually, we humans really don't have to go near a wild animal. We don't do with any other wild animal. You don't go and touch a tiger or a lion.
Yeah, it's a crazy thought, right? Like you wouldn't, it's a crazy thought about that, but. As far as riding goes, I don't have a problem with mahouts sitting on the neck of an elephant because it's their elephant. It's their, if they're giving that elephant freedom, like the picture I showed you guys, that elephant, for a bull elephant especially, they have a terrible, terrible life in captivity. But if you can put a guy on its back, on its neck, and have it walk freely, maybe around, is that bad? Maybe not. Probably not. It's our Western idea that it's bad. Chairs are bad. Other people riding elephants is bad. But a mahout's on the elephant, that's okay. That's like saying don't walk your dog or don't. Who are we to say that as long as he's not the elephant all day long, not a problem. Not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, very true. I think the natural instinct comes because the elephants are so huge, and by default, we understand that they are a very powerful animal. And as humans, we usually become very aggressive to make sure that before it shows its power, I want to make sure that we keep it under control always.
Yeah.
So there's a psychology what we use, and that ends up, as an obsession to probably keep it under control using various tools and methods, which for an elephant may not be so comfortable at a point of time. And as you said, yes, every elephant has a various behavioral system. It becomes more unpredictable. The problem is it
Right.
becomes very, very unpredictable. So that it's a way that we're a mahout and probably the whole elephant community, elephant warriors, people like you who have been really working with elephants, should probably come together, put up a huge encyclopedia about elephant mindset to understand it at first level,
I
and
mean,
see what best can be done. Because another thing what I have seen is a lot of experts who work with captive elephants will not go near the wild elephant part of it. And the same thing with wild people who work with wild elephant. It's huge. The amount of work what you guys have to do is huge. So that there's a
it's
gap always.
yeah. I mean, it, I wouldn't know where to begin to help the wild elephant. It's not in my skill set. It's not in my wheelhouse. But I help the captive elephant, and Nani feels the same, just the opposite. So
Yes, that's
it's
true.
it's just two different worlds, and
Yeah,
I'll do anything to help the wild elephant, absolutely, but I don't know how to help you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't know how to help them in a sense.
Yes.
So
Okay. Going by look, what I have learned in past 2 3 years, though I have been seeing wild elephants in my trekking and other things in my solo experiences. It's almost not 3 years since I've been totally dedicated myself to do something regarding the elephants. I've been learning both about captive elephant as well as the wild elephant to a certain extent. But one of the thing what I say is that the bridge of knowledge exchange between people who deal with the captive elephant and people who deal with wild elephants is missing somewhere. For example, elephant's behavior much better than probably what Nani would know because you have a much more closer contact. Similarly, when it comes to the wilderness part of it, Nani will have a better idea about
of
how
course,
probably elephant would behave in certain situations.
sure,
So I think that then there's not enough of a platform, to exchange these ideas and knowledge sharing has to happen. I think that's the best way to help each other. Because on ground, you guys are hands full. I know that. There's no way that probably you would want to go to the forest. You can go to a forest and probably start helping them, or Nani can come to you and start helping captive elephant. But
right.
knowledge sharing is one thing. I guess it will really help us to understand these animals better. Because the way you guys encounter it in such a close quarter of elephants, I don't think with wild they do it. It's not
Yeah.
possible.
Well, it's so consuming. Like, captive elephants, depending on the country, different problems, different issues, and then you got people who take care of elephants have their issues amongst themselves. So it's so complex, just the captive elephant aspect. And I imagine it's the same for the wild elephant aspect. So it's so hard to think that if you there's so much to do. There's so much to do, I guess. Is
True, very true. So I
And
think
like I said,
Nani. Hmm.
no, like I said, I'm happy to talk more about, I mean, at a later date, about target training, foot care. If I, because I kind of skimmed over all that stuff, but I'm happy to talk about any of that at any later date if you want to set something up. Or, I mean, people will have my contact information, obviously. So, um, whatever. But I'm happy to elaborate more on anything that I'm going to said or missaid or whatever.
That's great. So I think Nani is still not able to reboot, and internet is also giving problem to her. What we'll do is, I know we have Nani's presentation loaded, and I've been in touch with Nani almost for a year, so at least I kind of know what work she does. So I'll take you guys. In the meanwhile, if Nani can come online and join us, it'll be great. So hope
All
everyone
right.
is fine with that.
I'm good. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. People want Nani to talk. Okay.
I hope she will come back. I'm just hoping. I'm telling her to try anything and come online. I hope she will come back. Great. So Nani, works with Nature and Wildlife Foundation. She is the co-founder and secretary general of NWA, and they primarily work with human elephant conflict to avoid the human elephant conflict as much as possible, and use soft techniques to push the elephant back. But I know there's something beautiful about their whole way. What they do with the elephant and the system they use, the approach they have to avoid the conflict. Because when we speak about the HEC, we have humans as well as elephants life in stake. Oh, I think Nani is back. I can see her online here. So I guess it's fair for me to wait for her for 2 minutes. Nani, are you here?
Yeah, I just saw it pop up. We'll see. I don't know.
Yes, I can. No, I can see her in the presenters. This thing. Nani, you need to switch on your video and mic.
Just tell her you
I
finished the presentation for her when she comes back. So we're all done. No, we're finished.
Yes, she's there. She's almost there. Just a second. I think I'll just have to help her with switching on the camera and mic. Oh yeah, finally. Nani, your audio, mic, switch on the mic. It's still off. You're muted. Nani in technology is always amazing. No, Nani, put on the mic, the bottom, at the bottom of your
Okay.
There you go.
Yes, yeah, finally Nani's back. Great.
I'm there.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry, I get my laptop just crashed when Steve finished. So okay, focus on the presentation. Sorry everybody. Thank you to stay with us. And my battery go down also. So wonderful.
No problem, Nani. Let us start. Let us start.
Too stress. Okay,
Okay.
we go ahead with the presentation.
Yes.
So as I told you, everybody, my name is Nani. So I'm the co-founder of NWA. We are working about human-elephant conflict. We set up our NGO. I set up this NGO with another founder. It's Andy Merck. He has 35 years of experience with wild elephant in Thailand. So we met 6 years ago, something like this, and we set up NWA 4 or 5 years ago now. And we are working mostly on the field with villager and ranger and authorities, and so you will see in the PowerPoint. So I will present you the PowerPoint.
It's open,
Okay.
Nani.
No, it's not open. Okay, I have to do the things.
Okay, wait. Ek kaam kar. Let me just close my.
Can you see?
Yes.
Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we are able to see it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
Nani.
how I
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
So what we do at NWA, it's why I don't get the first image. So now you see, okay, this is NWA logo. Huh? What we do at NWA, we are working, we understand human-elephant conflicts, so HEC. We monitor the elephant, we collect data, we install camera trap also to do the census of elephant. The census is how many elephant there is. So we use the capture and recapture. We have a toolbox, we call it a toolbox for the villager and for the ranger. It's several tools we are using during the HEC intervention. We also, NWA provides training to the villager and to the ranger and to all the people affected by human-elephant conflict, because we want, when they get the training, they get more confident and they know how to react with wild elephant. Because we believe all the time, these people were born with elephant and they know how to handle the issue. But many times they don't know how to handle the problem. And, there is the elephant population increasing in many countries of Asia. So you have elephant to go in new areas where the people are not used to and they don't know how to handle. So we provide 3 trainings, several trainings. And once we are done with the training, we go with them on the field. So most of the time we are with them at nighttime, first to check if the training was efficient, if we have to readjust things. And so we go with them on the field. So nearly every night we are on the field with them. Tomorrow, for example, we go for some days, some weeks on the field. So again, what I want to say about human-elephant conflict is, in Asia, in Africa, I don't really know. I cannot talk about Africa. But in Asia, everybody is looking for one magical solution to solve HEC, which absolutely don't work. The human-elephant conflict are most of the time similar because elephants come in human area in search of food, but The landscape are different. The people are different. The relation with elephant are different. What's that? The relation with elephant are different. The beliefs are different. The religion, everything is different. So what we do at NWA, we go directly on the field. We collect information from the villager, we collect a lot of data, a lot of information. We go deep in our investigation to understand the problem, and then we make what we call a tailor-made solution. We have our main component at NWA, our main methods, but we have to adapt in every places where we go. So yes, second picture. It don't work? Oh. So yes, you can see we spend we are working in many countries in Asia. We are working in Thailand, in India, in Malaysia. We help also many countries. They contact us. We cannot be everywhere. We are a small NGO. And we really want to focus on our work area to be efficient and to get some result. We are not looking to increase our area. We want to help everywhere, but we can't. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough time and funds and everything. So yes, we go directly. You see, we collect many information about elephant. Then this picture was taken in Thailand and in India. In India, you have a large herd of elephants. We saw in Assam some herd of 250 elephants.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, they stay together because more the situation is dangerous for them, more they group together. So it's different herd who go together to go for crop riding at night. Because you have to understand, in most of the areas, HEC happen in the night. Most of the time, the elephant come out roughly around 4 or 5 p.m. in most of the areas. So most of the intervention are in the night. Kiran, I cannot move the picture.
You can move the picture. Okay, let me see if I can do it for you. Just a moment.
It took me a second to get him to start moving too. So
Okay, don't worry. You can tell me, Nani. I can do it from here. Don't worry.
Okay, it's moving. So now you can see. Yes, so collecting data about elephant. And what we do also, we identify every elephant. We do the identification. It's very important to know who are the elephant. We do the physical identification, so the ear, the tusk, the body, the tail, if there is some specific mark. And we also do the characters. For example, this elephant scared of the light, this elephant charge when you use light, this elephant scared about the voice, this elephant charge, this elephant don't care. So we identify all of them because most of the time it's the same bulls who are coming in the areas, you know. And once you know your elephant, you can handle the HEC. You can use, we push on this. In our training, we are using only soft mitigation. No firecracker, no gun, no violent method. So we are always using soft mitigation. Because what we do when the elephant come out, we push them back in the forest. We don't allow them to go in the human area. We block them at the forest. We want to let them, but of course, in the forest and inside in the protected area, they need grassland. They need food. It's out of question to push some elephant in in area where there is absolutely no food. It's so, and to push back the elephant, what we do, we have an elephant team well trained. So it's a part of the NWA training. We train the villager, we train the ranger, and then we set up the elephant team. We provide them the equipment like walkie-talkie, t-shirt. The t-shirt is not nothing. They need it because if they go in the private property, they can be shot. So now with this t-shirt, everybody know it's the elephant team and they come to push back the elephant. So they identify immediately and there is no risk for our teams. So our team are very well trained. They are well equipped. They go every night on the field. They are all volunteer and they are all villagers affected by human-elephant conflict. So can you imagine this? Those people are working in the field in the night, are working on the field in the night to push back the elephant and to take care of all the field of all the people around so they don't sleep. And then in the day, they go work in their field, in their farm. So the villagers are very, very involved in elephant conservation with us. I try to move the picture. Did I jump one picture? Kiran, I'm in the right order of the picture, or
Yes,
yes? Huh?
you're in the right order, Nani. That's the fourth one. This
Okay,
is the
okay.
fifth one.
So this is very important. What also NWA are doing is, I just told you about the food for elephant, because why elephants are going outside the protected area, why they take so much risk to go to meet the humans. Most of the time, elephants don't really like to meet humans. They need food. 85% of the main food of elephant is grass. So they need grassland. In Thailand, the HEC increased because of what? The reforestation. It sounds strange, but elephants don't eat forest. They are herbivores, and they share their habitat with other herbivores, like gaur, like deer, like all the other herbivores. So if you don't have any grassland, you have no more food. Elephants go outside to find food, and they go in the paddy field and to find all kinds of food. So what we do, we manage the grassland. For example, we have the problem with invasive plant species. In India, 95% of all the grassland are completely covered by the Chromolina and Lantana. So there is no more grassland. It's completely degraded. In Thailand, here, we remove the invasive plant species. We burn also the grassland 2 times per year to maintain it, to get the new grass. We also manage some pond of water during the dry season. Okay,
I
it's
just
moving.
that's
Yes.
right.
Yeah, you can move it.
I can move it. Don't worry. You continue. I'll move the slides for you.
Okay, cool. So here you can see we make a small check dam. We put some stones and we make like a small dam like this. We collect some water. Yeah. So this is the habitat management for elephant. It's very important. It's the key. If the elephant have no food in their habitat, you will get the human-elephant conflict. So we can move. So here you can see we are working with the villager and the ranger. It's all the intervention, and you know what? Normally every night we are like this. It's our night. It's NWA night. You can see NG, 63 years old, is the president of NWA. He's on the field all the time also. Huh? So we are always with them. So we see the training. We push the elephant back with them. Yes, you see the footprint here. We are collecting, this is collecting data about elephant. We are taking picture and collecting lot of information to identify the ear, the body, the tails, and everything. The footprint, we also take the size of the footprint. Very important. Why? In the identification, we take the size like this, vertical and horizontal. Yeah, you see me, I'm taking the footprint, the size of the footprint. Why? Because when there is some accident or when something happened, we can roughly know if it was this elephant or this elephant. For example, in the area where one of the area where we are working, there is one elephant. His name is Hippo. He killed many people. And when someone get killed in this area, everybody say it's Hippo. So the ranger go to check the size of the footprint, and we know it's not Hippo. So it's very important to get the footprint. And you know what? We have some ranger in this area. They are so good about the size of the footprint. They can identify which elephant walked, which footprint, which elephant was, the name, and they know just by seeing the footprint. So, okay, we can go ahead. You see, we check the habitat. So you can see the picture on the left. It's Andy and me, and we are in the forest. It's a sal forest, I think. It's in India, and there is elephant there, and it's absolutely not an habitat for elephant. There is no food. There is only invasive plant and tree. You know, elephant need 3 things in wild elephant. They need food, safety, and food, water, and safety. If they have these 3 things, it reduces a lot human-elephant conflict. So now you can see on this picture, Andy and me, we are preparing all the camera trap. It's a lot of work, like everything. So we collect all the picture of the elephant for the census. Yeah.
So basically, do you keep count of elephants, Nani? In which area, which village, how many elephants you have, and how do you when you track them using camera trap? Is it?
We use our camera. We use the picture of everybody, the ranger, the villager, all the picture we have. We also use the camera trap pictures, and we identify. And it's a very long work. It's not something you can do it in 1 year or 2 years. It takes a long time. So, and there is more new elephant who are coming. There is other elephant who move. So so yes, we identify one elephant by one elephant, and we compare one by one. So
Okay.
here you can see Andy and me, we are installing the alarm fence because we have a homemade alarm fence. I don't know if you will see the picture, but it's a rope connect to honk. All the system is in the big bottle of water, recycling. There is a honk and it's connected with a battery of motorbike. When the elephant come, they just push the rope and the alarm ring, and our elephant team come immediately and they push back the elephant. So the elephant don't scare of the sound. They will scare off for 2 weeks, 1 month, but they associate the sound with the elephant team. So when they see the thin rope, it's very thin, we use thin rope because we don't want the other animal get injured. You don't get the rope around the neck. Yeah. So yes, we are installing this, and this alarm fence is very useful because it allows the villager and the ranger to sleep, stay in their hammock, no patrol all the night, no use the gasoline, take some rest, and just listen the alarm.
Very true. I think that's where the snare is one of the biggest problem with a lot of wild elephants. I've seen several elephants losing their trunk or leg, getting wounded.
I mean, it's completely crazy. During the census, we noticed because we was looking the picture very closely and the video, and we noticed 5% of the elephant on 5%, and we get maybe 250 elephants. 5% was injured by snares.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, and we get also the gaur who get injured by snares. So it's a lot. True. But NWL also work about the snares, but it's confidential, so I cannot reveal the method about this.
Completely respect the confidentialities.
So this is the distribution to the villager, to the volunteer. It's a headlight, it can be a bag, it can be it's a kit. We distribute a kit. So we provide them, walkie-talkie, headlight, bags, raincoat, food, budget for the gasoline monthly. What we do? Okay, several things to make their work more comfortable.
Great. So
it's very important, these villagers, they do it because they want to help. They don't have to do it. They don't have any money to do it. So when I see on social media all the people who are pointing the finger on the villager and are saying, look how they are bad, first of all, they feed us. And second, many help us. There is some that are bad. Yes, they don't want. It's a fight for food. We have to understand the both sides. And it's not only, poor elephant. These people are dying. In India, you have over 3,000 people who get killed by elephants in 5 years. It's unbelievable. Really, so people are dying, elephants are dying. It's a fight for food, and we have to understand both sides. And I'm not even talking about all the farmers who are killing themselves in India due to human-wildlife conflict. They lose everything. They have debt. The children cannot go to the school because they have to work. So it affects everybody. So here you can see we are on the team. You can see also there is a tree house, a platform. So villager make it in all the wild elephant area. All the farmers have this. You can see it in India, in Thailand, everywhere. Villagers spend their night in this platform to watch if the elephants are coming. You see, no electricity, no water, no comfort, no nothing. Spend all night here. So yes, it's us in intervention. Here in Thailand, we are lucky because we have the ranger who help, the army also sometimes. and you can see with the villager. So all the time it's at night time. Huh?
So I guess most of the time you end up being in jungle all nights.
Not really jungle, because if it's jungle, there is, but you know, human-elephant conflict happen outside the protected area, in the village and in the field. When elephants are outside the protected area, it's their area, so there is no HEC. But outside, yes. So we spend all night in the field, in the mountain, sometimes there is patch of forest, there's different landscape.
Okay, great.
So you can see also here it's the training. We also make annual event in Malaysia, create awareness in Malaysia. Yes, we make a training in, it's a very tough work because we go in every single village and we train all the people. So it's one village by one village, and sometimes we can do 3-4 training in one day. Then after we go to push back elephant. So what we do, the training is identification of elephant. They need to know their elephant. The training of HEC intervention, we show them how to do directly with the rope, with the system, with the tools, with all what we have. We use also bottles with stone inside to scare the elephant, to push back the elephant. They don't scare. Yes, so we do this training, and we also do the training of our application. I will take like this. This is also training, you see, training in Thailand and in India. So this is our application, and WA just create a new application. It's HEC Alert. So all the people, it's a free application. All the people who have the application on their mobile, when they see elephant, they just have to click on report elephant. It's very simple. They just have to click on report elephant. Then all the people all around 25 kilometers will get the alert on their mobile phone. So everybody will know where is the elephant. They have a road map and the satellite map. So it's very efficient. The villager like it. If you want to work closely with the villager, you have to use simple things. That's why our early warning system is cheap and simple to use, and they can manage by themselves. They can buy things by themselves. It's cheap and simple to understand. Same with the application. Very simple to understand. They locate the elephant, they report, and everybody know where is the elephant.
Very true. In fact, I mean, there's just one red button what you see here, report elephant. The moment you click it, it'll mark, your position based on the GPS and send out message with all the people who has to install this application. It may be forest rangers, it may be villagers around. Within 25-kilometer range, people know about the elephant presence, wild elephant presence, and the conflict gets avoided most of the time because they are prepared for it, and they can monitor the direction which the elephant moves. So it's fantastic app, as what I saw. Thanks a lot for this, Nani. In fact, I would request all the attendees to promote this app, and help if you know any villagers who are living in the elephant conflict zones to install it.
Feel free to share it. I mean, all the people, the maximum people are using it. The maximum is efficient, and it can save lives, because many times you have the people who don't know there is elephant in their area, and bam, they get killed by elephant or they get injured by elephant. So you can anticipate a lot the elephant movement, and at the same time, we are making also through this application HEC mapping in all Asia. So it's a database of HEC. This will be accessible for free for the organization who work about elephants, for the authorities, for the scientists, for the researcher, for the student, I don't know, who work about conservation. So this application is extremely efficient. We have tested we have tested on the field. So all the villagers now are using it, and they're using it in Bhutan, Malaysia, Indonesia, India, Thailand, and yes.
Great. So I think we're at the end of this Nani's presentation. Now I will open this for questions and answers. And please mention whom you want to ask questions for. I think Bharat already had a question. We had a couple of questions already coming in. Yes, Bharat. Steve, you have a question from Bharat. I hope you can see it. It is how important is the elephant balancing ecological system? If it's very important.
Just ask me the question. I'm sorry. What is it?
This is how important is the elephant in balancing ecological system? If it is very important in balancing this ecological system, what are important aspects from you to government to take measure on elephants? I think more than Steve, Nani would be better to answer this
Yeah.
because Nani is
Ecological system of about elephant. Oh yes, yes, yes. This is very impressive. You know, the elephant, for example, when poo, they poo in their dung. It's the question, huh? I'm right.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, they spread seeds. So yeah, they spread seeds. So you can see in the elephant dung, you can see some small trees, and there is some insect also. So there is a many ecosystem inside. Elephant also are digging hole to find water, so it's very useful for the other animals. And one fact very interesting, it's in the footprint. You know, the footprints are deep, so when it's raining, there is water who go inside, and many small mammals or birds or animals are drinking inside, and some species of frogs are laying eggs inside the footprint. So yes, it's elephant are umbrella species. And you know, even when they eat, they take the grass and they shake it. You can see them, they shake it. So they spread the seed of the grass, so they make the grass healthy. But sometimes, if you have an overpopulation of elephants in one area, it can be, if the carrying capacity is over, they can destroy the habitat. If there are too many in one area, they can destroy the habitat. So there is also the risk with the overpopulation of elephants.
So next question is, how can we associate to your cause of helping elephants? So I think the question is for both of you. Probably you can tell them how they can associate themselves with the cause. Steve, you can go first.
How they can associate with my cause?
Yes.
Or help elephants. You know, it's really about seeing something you think is wrong and then and trying to help. You know, be polite and do, you know, you can contact me and, you know, we can figure out something if you want to do that. You know, my information is there. But yeah, I think that you know, we all can do our part. You know, we all can do our part, and I think that the best way is if you see something that you think is wrong, you got to kind of you know, address it. You know, address it politely, not in such a way where you create enemies right away, right?
Very true. I think one of the best thing what you could do is, I mean, just as you saw in Steve's presentation, when you see an elephant, yeah, enjoy looking at the elephant, probably which has been domesticated or captive. Look at their foot. Look at the foot of an elephant. That speaks a lot. And if you think, you know, if you can, see that elephant's foot is something similar to what Steve's, presentation had, which had a kind of a wound or anything like that, or deformation, okay, you can always come back to me or Steve or Nani or anyone, and we will try to see what best can be done. Or you yourself probably just check with the mahout or the authorities if that's being taken care of.
But that's the issue, though. It's they don't know how to take care of, because
Exactly.
everywhere you go, you say, oh yeah, we take care of it, we do this, but they don't, and that's the issue. And so how do you get to the point where you can get to the table to say, can I offer some help? Don't even have to pay me. Just let me offer some help to help your elephant, please. How do you get to that point?
Yes. So the thing with either what Steve does or Nani does, I appreciate them a lot for what they've been doing. They don't charge for the services what they do for elephants. They
I
don't
know.
charge actually anything, and they do it.
We
And
work for free, and all our budget for us, for example, all the budget is for the elephant and the villager, and yes, of course, when people ask help, and that's why I wanted to say also, Steve, you just talk about how to help for the people who, I know it's complicated because you cannot go on the field on intervention like we do and things like this. So how you can help, you can support all the small NGO who are working on the field, you can share, it helps a lot. You know, we we don't have so much time to stay on social media because we are on the field all the time. So feel free to share, to talk about the small NGO. I'm not talking only about NWA, huh? All the small NGO who are on the field, who work. Because the famous NGO, they already have a lot of support. So support the small NGO who are boots on the ground.
That's true. There are a lot of people, who have small NGOs. In fact, there are individuals who have created NGOs for to get some support. Is what I feel. They have come, they're doing it. I wouldn't even say passion. I can see that they really connect to elephants, to the problem. They connect to the problem, and they're there to solve the problem, and they need a lot of support. For example, speaking about HEC, this is one thing that has been running in my mind. A lot of corporates spend quite an amount of money for social cause. They have a budget for social cause. Now if you look at the small Nani, in most of the villages where you work in, what kind of size a farmer, land will a farmer have? Small farmers where these elephants come in, what is the land size? 1 acre, 2 acre, 5 acre kind of land,
Oh
right?
la, me and numbers and the size of, I don't know, it's big. No, but sometimes I don't know how to say, but sometimes it depends the area. Sometimes they plant corn or rice or to sell it. Okay, so it's a commercial purpose. But in many places in India, we have the case they don't sell it. It's their own food. And when you have elephants who come in their field and just walk through the field, it's dead. I mean, they make so much damage when they walk. Imagine a herd. So they lose all their food.
Food. I think that is what creates the problem. When people feel that their food is being lost, they become aggressive. And it means the corporates probably can adopt these villages, adopt these people, and at least promise them their food, and promise that if the elephants by chance come into the village, or they come into their fields, they don't have to harm them. Let them use the soft methodologies to push them back. But if the elephants do not go back, they can always probably help these villages from their corporate funds. That's one of the best thing what probably I believe the corporates should start looking at. Because if you look at that, when you avoid the conflict, both the life of an elephant is saved, the life of a human being is saved.
Yeah.
So
there is a problem, with human-elephant conflict. Actually, everybody is using methods to block elephants, stop elephants, push them, things like this. Okay, it's only human-centric. Actually, with NWA, we are talking about elephant-centric. Now it's time to focus about elephant. Why they do this? Why do they need? Why they come? So we need to focus on this, not only thinking, okay, protect the human, make a fence, make a wall and things like this. And you can see it don't work. It don't work. And HEC are increasing everywhere. And you can hear everywhere, why you don't use the beehives and things like this. We know already, we try on the field, we test it, it works in Africa, it don't work in Asia, because the Asian bees are sleeping in the night. And they don't fly at night time. And the elephant, they disturb the bees. They take a branch, they go on the beehives, they put the branch like this, they shake. So the beehives 1 time, 2 time, 3 times, they fed up and they go. Another one, he go to take some water at the river and he put in the hole of the beehives, and then all the bee died. Another one, he pulled the beehives and he walk like he walk with his dog. He walk with the beehives behind him. So we have the case here. No, but they are super intelligent.
Great. Okay. So, challenges are always there. The next question is from okay. Nani, this question is for you. You mentioned cultural differences playing a role in HEC. Could you give some specific example of this?
The culture.
The cultural, you said the cultural differences playing a role in HEC.
Yes, because there is many places in India, people don't understand, they say, okay, Ganesha, you have the Hindu god, okay, and they say, okay, Indians associating wild elephant with our god, and no. It's not the case everywhere. It can happen, but we met several villagers. I asked them the question. I say, for you, this is God? They said, no. This guy killed my brother. This guy steal my food. They are thieves. It has nothing to do with God. So no, and the beliefs are very different. And there is some places where they say, okay, the elephant behavior depends of the human behavior. If the humans are aggressive, the elephant will be aggressive. If the human are okay with them, the elephant will be okay. No stress, no scare. It's what we do. We never scare the elephant. Never make an elephant run. He will destroy all things on his way because he will be afraid. So yes, the different belief and the different conception, and there is it play a lot. There is some people, they will tell you, yeah, don't touch the elephant, they afraid them, I love them. The other one, you will say, no, nothing to do with God. So
True. I think based on their experiences, people change their opinion also. But we need to understand at the end of the day, elephant is a wild animal. There are reasons why it has been seen as a god or whatever. This is not the platform probably to discuss about it. But still, what we are looking at is how can we be more human? When I say elephant, I'm speaking about elephant as a particular topic today. But I speak about any animal. Why we need to be more human towards it. That's the whole point. But elephant has been one of the most what do you say, the animal which has been in larger amount of challenges when it comes to what it faces, because as it's mentioned earlier, just because of its sheer size, strength, people are afraid and they use extra force to push it back. And that is something where we need to be more conscious about what is that technique, what is the methodology we are adapting to avoid the conflict, or in taking care of an captive elephant. That's very important. So, any more questions? We are sorry we are late. We ran late by 15 minutes because of some technical issues. It's already 9. If there is no question, I would like to just ask one small question, which will be a poll. And after that, we can end the webinar. So, here is the question.
who?
Yeah, Nani?
No. I was like, who has a question? I didn't know you talk to the people.
I have a question. Okay, the question is on the screen.
Would you like
I just want to know.
Oh.
Would you like to have more webinars like this related to elephant, wildlife, and conservation? So let me know your opinion. So based on that, look, we are looking at both the things. One, educating people about.
I'm sorry, Kiran. How can I reply to the question? You reply already about the application? Yes, sorry. Yes, it works in India. It works in all Asia.
Yes.
Sorry. So now the question. Sorry, I cut you.
No problem. No problem, Nani. Now I know how Nani works, so it's perfectly fine. I think even Steve has got adjusted to it now.
I answered.
Acclimatized. Okay, so I think if everyone is done, can I end it?
Yes. Thank you,
Any
everybody.
It's your show, buddy. It's your show.
Any other questions?
If people have questions, I don't know how they can ask through Facebook, maybe.
Yes, you can connect to Facebook. I'll be sending you all of you a mail giving Steve and Nani's website address, their Facebook profile link, so you can connect to them, or you can connect back to me also.
Yes.
And as most of you know that Laughing Elephants is always there to address anything when it comes to the elephant as much as possible. Either I'll connect you to the right kind of people, or at least whatever knowledge I have, I'll try to support you, or we'll try to connect you to the forest department people, whoever I know, accordingly. So please do feel free. So thanks a lot, guys. Yes, Nani, you want to say something?
Yeah, if you have people who have HEC in their area, if they need some help, if they have some question or things like this, when we are not on the field, can reply. Otherwise, I take time to reply. But yeah, we are happy to help if we can, to give some advice and to get more information about the areas where there is HEC. So never know if there is some people here who have this issue or HEC issue. Feel free.
Yes. So, Steve, anything you want to say before we leave?
Not really. I mean, thanks everybody for tuning in. Hopefully, somebody is inspired, wants to help, do things. You guys can contact me, through whatever social media device or anything else. It's about elephants ultimately. It's really about elephants, whether it's wild or captive. We all can do our part to help them. Yeah, and if you guys have issues with captive elephants somewhere, I'm not sure who's on this list or what their involvement would be. I'm happy to help. I don't play the politics. I fight for the elephants and only the elephants. So I'm
Same.
yeah. So we're more than willing to help the elephants out there. So what do you got to lose if you know? But anyway, that's all. Thanks everybody. I mean that's all I got to say.
And it's what I say all the time, we are working in WA, I'm talking, we are working about HEC, human-elephant conflict. We are not working about human-human conflict. HHC, no. It's all about elephant. So we have to focus on them. It's not about us. It's about real conservation for the next generation and for this umbrella species.
Yes. Exactly.
So thank you, everybody.
Thanks a lot. And guys, for whoever is asking, how can we help? Like one of the biggest problem what I have seen in past 3 years at least is that the knowledge. People do not have a knowledge or an idea about what we are doing with this beautiful animal. Okay, of course, we look at newspaper, either we blame the villagers or we blame the elephant or the forest department. Okay, please be aware of what it is. You can always come back to me as Steve and Nani, as I told you. That is the first thing. Okay, the rest all can come later. The rest all, the support you want to do, the charity you want to do, everything is secondary. The first thing is if you have knowledge of what you are doing, what you're supporting, and what is that, uh, creating all these things. Eventually, as we call ourselves a supreme species, and no matter what we say, somewhere we are responsible for most of the things that happens around. So let us be conscious, not just with elephants, with all the animals, and make sure that we make this world a better place for everyone and everything. So thanks a lot.
Can
Yes,
I add
Nani?
something? I just want to add something. People, please be careful with social media because it can affect a lot animals, wildlife, and things like this, and the conservation work. Now you have Kiran, you have Steve, you have me as a contact. We are in contact direct. I'm on the field and things like this. If you see something, if you want to get some right information, feel free to ask because there is so many fake and so many nonsense on social media.
Exactly.
It's terrible. Feel free to check. Feel free to ask. Because we are there,
True.
we see, we know, we can confirm or not.
Very true. Talk to the experts rather than going through all the media and rumors. That's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
So, and also we are nearing the Ganesh Chaturthi, the Ganesha festival here. So happy Ganesha festival to all. I'll be doing another video for Ganesha festival focused on certain questions about Ganesha and elephant. How does it connect to each other? However, for today, we are going to end this session now. Thanks a lot, guys. And thank you, Steve. Thank you, Nani. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you,
And
guys.
all the
Thank you
knowledge you
very much,
share.
everybody. Thank you, Kiran. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Nani. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye, guys.